Smart switches are a great way to make virtually any room or light smart without having to replace the bulb or any kind of light fixture. I use switches by Lutron all throughout my smart home since they're the most reliable, but I noticed Aqara, who also makes some great products, has smart switches that are half the cost. So today we're going to check out the Aqara Smart Wall Switch, get it installed, see what it can and cannot do, and at the very end we'll compare it to Lutron and see which is the better option for you and if I'm ditching Lutron for Aqara. Now, Aqara makes 4 different models of their smart switch. A single rocker to replace one light switch, and a double rocker if you have 2 switches connected together, both with and without a neutral wire. Now, Aqara did send me out their smart wall switch for a review, but as always, I'm gonna let you guys know what I honestly think about this product. I'm making the light in my laundry room smart, and I don't have a neutral wire, so I'm using the non-neutral wire version. If you have a neutral wire, then you can actually choose to use the neutral wire version or the non-neutral wire version. And there's a few key differences between them that I'll talk about later on. And in the box, you get a manual, wire labels, the smart switch itself, wires for the ground and the hotlines, and if you choose the neutral wire version, then you'll have an extra wire for the neutral wire, screws for mounting, wire nuts, and a double faceplate. Installing this smart switch was very easy to do and works like any other smart switch. Just turn off the breaker, remove your existing switch and all the wiring. Connect your ground wire on the Aqara switch, then the both hot or load lines, and a neutral wire if you have one. Put the faceplate on, flip on the breaker, and now your light switch is smart. This light switch looks very clean. I'm digging the white minimalist design. It has a smooth finish, and the top and the bottom are both clickable, so either one can be used to turn the light on or off. Though I will say this switch is very loud when it's turning on or off, either manually or from an app. It's much louder than Lutron, which is completely silent, so the Aqara Smart Switch may not be a good option for somewhere that needs to be quiet, like in a bedroom at night. An Aqara hub is required for this smart switch to work, and you can use any hub that you would like. And there are many different kinds of Aqara hubs that offer different features to best suit your needs, like a camera, lights, a hardwired connection, and more. There's no smart assistant or motion sensor built into this smart switch like other smart switches have, though none support native HomeKit. The Aqara app has basic features like being able to turn it on or off, set a countdown timer, creating a scene that whenever the light turns on, then it can automatically turn off after X amount of time, and you can choose the icon to best suit what the smart switch controls. But of course, these icons do not sync over to the Apple Home app. The smart switch works with all 3 smart home platforms, but in this video, we'll just be looking at what it can do in the Apple Home app. I've been using the Aqara Smart Switch in the Home app for about 3 weeks now, and the connection has been stable and I've not had any issues. In the Home app, there are 3 icon types exposed: a fan, a light, and a switch. And it only offers power on and off. There is no dimming like the Lutron smart switches have. If you're using the double rocker switch to control a single light, then you can actually use the other switch to control virtually any other device in your home, like an outlet, another light, or even your TV, just by using an automation in the Apple Home app. I heard about this little trick from Eric over at Modern Day Tech, and I will leave his channel linked in the description down below. And speaking of automations, here's a couple of automation ideas that you can do with this smart switch. You can use a contact sensor, so whenever the door opens, it can turn the light on, and whenever the door closes, then it can turn off the light. Or you can achieve a very similar result with a motion sensor. So whenever motion has been detected, it can turn on the light, and whenever motion has not been detected, then it can turn off the light. And because this smart switch does work with the Apple Home app, this means that you are able to control this light with Siri. Now, you may be wondering, should I go with the neutral wire version or the non-neutral wire version if I have a neutral wire? Well, a neutral wire essentially brings power from the switch back to the breaker box to complete an electrical circuit to keep the switch continuously fully powered. Without a neutral wire, the switch will take a small amount amount of power from the hotline in order to keep the switch powered on whenever you turn the switch off. If you do have a neutral wire, then you can actually choose to use the neutral wire version or the non-neutral wire version. Just cap off the neutral wire if you're not using it for safety. You will get more features with the neutral wire version since the neutral wire is providing more power to the switch. This switch can also act as a Zigbee repeater that can extend the Zigbee signal if you have a lot of Aqara devices, creating a strong and reliable connection for all of your Aqara devices. But the biggest feature that you will get with a neutral wire is that you'll get energy monitoring, which will monitor power consumption of a device on a daily and a monthly basis. Since this switch is in my laundry room and is usually only on for a couple minutes to move clothes, I don't have a need for energy monitoring since the light is hardly on. But if you do want energy monitoring, then you will need a neutral wire. As much as I like the price, the performance, and the features of Aqara, I still find Lutron to have a bit more features that makes the experience that much better, especially when it comes to a wide variety of models to choose from. Lutron makes double wall smart switches with faceplates to support multiple Lutron switches or a Lutron switch and a regular light switch. Aqara only makes single wall switches, but if you have a double gang wall plate like a light switch and a smart switch, then you can actually just use a Lutron wall plate and the Aqara switch will actually fit into this wall plate perfectly fine. Lutron also makes switches for ceiling fans, whereas Aqara only makes switches for lights, which makes Lutron especially useful in areas like bathrooms that tend to have multiple switches for lights and exhaust fans. When it comes to color, Lutron comes in a wide variety of colors: white, black, and this light almond. This way your switch can blend in with your room's decor, whereas Aqara only comes in white. My favorite feature about Lutron is that they have this little Pico remote as well that can control lights and dimming in the same room or in a different room. These don't have to be hardwired to work, they can just be mounted on the wall inside of a faceplate or used freestanding. Aqara has a similar product with a small mini switch that can natively control HomeKit lights or run scenes using a single, double, or press and hold, but these cannot be mounted on the wall. I personally like the design of the Lutron switches better. I think having dedicated buttons that show what each button does is great and makes it easy for others to use, but this just comes down to personal preference. The Aqara wall switch is an excellent budget wall switch since it works well in the Home app, has energy monitoring if you don't need dimming, and if you have other Aqara devices. I personally prefer Lutron over Aqara because Lutron is quiet when it turns on and off, whereas Aqara's is very loud, and Lutron has a dimming feature, which I like to use in my office and in the bedroom. Though Lutron is about double the price of Aqara, so Aqara is a great option if you don't need those features. What are your thoughts on the Aqara Smart Wall Switch? Let me know down in the comment section below, and thank you for watching.